Hi everybody, this is Sarah from Serenity. Today's video will be about the upcoming astrological alignment known as the Great Conjunction. This is a conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn that occurs every 20 years and has been a very prominent event in traditional astrology. That being said, this is my take on the astrology, and because of that, it may not resonate with everyone. And that's okay. If it doesn't resonate with you, no worries. Just pass it on by, and I do hope you find what you're looking for. The Great Conjunction between planets Jupiter and Saturn will next occur on the 21st of December 2020 in air sign Aquarius. The air signs are the thinkers, communicators, and doers of the zodiac. They analyze, they probe, they want to know more. They want to get to the bottom of things. If society in general embraces this type of energy, we're looking at some major changes. If you find this information helpful, why not subscribe, or better yet, even become a patron of Serenity. These videos do take quite a bit of time to make, and I appreciate your help and support. So what can we expect, and why should we even care about this conjunction? There are so many cycles going on with astrology. There are small cycles such as the moon moving through signs, and then there's so much to keep up with. Why should you even bother about this one? Well, this one will impact us for the next 20 years and actually much longer. So let's break it down. Jupiter, as you may know, is the third brightest object in the night sky after the moon and sparkling Venus, and it's the largest planet within our solar system. So of course, it's definitely going to affect life here on Earth. Jupiter was named after the Roman god and served as the patron deity of the Roman state. Jupiter ruled over laws and social order, much like Zeus for the Greek state. Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius and is generally considered to be a lucky planet. It's a planet associated with gratitude, knowledge, positivity, hope, morality, fate, and general good luck. As I said, it's the ruler of Sagittarius and is exalted in Cancer. It represents the principles of expansion versus, say, contraction like we see in Saturn. It is also associated with mental and spiritual growth and the aspirations of the higher self. We're talking about good humor, we're talking about tolerance and mercy, empathy without it overpowering us, and higher, more evolved qualities that we're aspiring to channel or to be. On the other hand, its negative side could also lead us into blind optimism. It could lead us into overindulgence and excess. And if we look at the other player in this conjunction, which is Saturn, known as the Lord of Karma, and it's the sixth planet from the Sun and the seventh and last planet of ancient astrology. But Saturn is also represented in modern life as the day Saturday, and is known as the planet of limits and restrictions. So you can see we're already seeing two opposites here between Jupiter and Saturn. With Saturn, we can see themes of responsibility, self-discipline, being conservative, maintaining the status quo, those types of notions. While Jupiter is expanding and growing, we see Saturn restricting as we begin a new cycle. And why do we need this? It brings structure and meaning to the world. For us to grow personally and for society to grow as a whole, things need to change. And because of that, some things need to expand and grow, and other things need to shrink in size or in importance in our lives. And those are going to be the lessons that we're going to be facing in December. But the entire year of 2020 has been nothing but lessons, correct? Saturn is also frequently associated with our fathers or authority figures. While discipline isn't always easy or pleasant, it can sometimes help us grow, especially when it's delivered in the right manner. Being the Lord of Karma, a lot of times the lessons with Saturn can be tough. What are we going to be looking at during the course of this great conjunction? Actually, we're looking at the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new, more enlightened way of being. New cycles or new phases in our personal and our spiritual growth as individuals or even as a community or as a planet take time. Some of these cycles we finish relatively quickly, some take longer. This particular cycle we're beginning is a 20-year cycle. The last conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn was in 1980. The opposition was in 1990, a conjunction in 2020, and opposition in 2010. Jupiter and Saturn will form the next conjunction on December 21st of 2020 in the first degree of Aquarius. As we get closer to the date of this alignment, you may be feeling it. You may be feeling antsy, restless. You may be having that deep apprehension of something is coming, something is going to happen, but you don't know what, and there's no logical explanation in your life. Or it could be affecting you the other way, where you're tired, depressed, feeling lethargic, and just really feeling overwhelmed, and also don't really have a reason for it other than everything that's going on, and a lot is going on. So yeah, this energy is very strong, very erratic feeling, and very unpredictable. Basically, we can look forward to old issues and old problems resurfacing during this time period until we begin this transition. So between now and then, you may be thinking about past lovers, old employment, you may be thinking about issues with your family, you may be thinking about, situations that you could have handled better, or maybe situations where someone wronged you. Looking for meaning and looking for the lesson. This could be impacting our dreams, it could be keeping us up at night, and it could also make us much more emotional. One important reason why this is happening is we are attempting to understand things from our past with a newfound enlightenment, and we want to take as many life lessons and as much understanding as we can forward into this new cycle. We don't want to repeat these patterns again. We don't want to have them happen over and over and over. We're ready to move up or level up and have things flow much smoother. 2020 has been pretty much a constant balancing act for us between all of these changes, the pandemic, everything happening in society. So much is going on that it was at times overwhelming, and it's not over yet. And now I'm telling you there's going to be more. Yeah, but it's all about personal growth now. Personal growth will translate into social change. Hopefully, you've had enough time during 2020 to really examine some of these deeper issues in your life and come to terms with what's working and what's not working, and definitely understand that things have to change. So this is how the change happens. This exact pattern of this conjunction, while it happens every 20 years, it happens in a different sign. The last time Saturn and Jupiter formed this pattern was approximately 200 years ago. The last time it occurred in the water signs was in the 15th century until the beginning of the 17th century. And then it was in the fire signs from the beginning of the 17th century until the beginning of the 19th century. Since 1802, the Saturn and Jupiter conjunctions have occurred in earth signs. And then the last one was on May 28, 2000 in Taurus. That was the last earth sign. After the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius in 2020 that's coming up in December, they will continue on to be in air signs until 2159. So you see, this is a bigger cycle than it first appears to be. Ending a 200-year reign, so to speak, of us being focused on earth elements, which are, of course, security, material possessions, and of course, personal safety. Generally, the negative side of being too grounded is we're resistant to change. We want things to stay the same. We want the status quo to continue. So it's time for change. Moving from grounded earth to dynamic air energy can be very disruptive to established order and society. Collective ideas, the way we communicate, how we look at life, how we look at our place in the world will all be influenced by this, and it will continue on then for 200 years. This is a wonderful time to be witnessing this and be here and be present for this. Will it be dramatic? At times, yeah, at times it will. But it's nothing you can't handle. You will make it through this. This alignment kind of reminds me of nostalgia. Maybe you've talked to an elder and they've told you how things used to be in the 80s or how things were prior to that even. That's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing a shift where things from the last several decades will just be old and outdated. And then as we really get grounded in this new air energy, things from the last 200 years will be unthinkable. There'll be things that no one does anymore, no one even would consider doing. But I see this as a really big positive and a very big win for us individually and as a society. So I don't want you to be afraid of this. Don't be afraid. We got this, and this is a good thing. There will be some new challenges, yes, of course, but we're going to see some new revolutionary ideas, people looking at old problems in a very different way. We're going to see some very innovative thinking that's going to really flip society around as well. And things are going to improve and improve on all sectors. So I think we should be very happy about this. The other one thing I wanted to cover in this video really quickly, if you've Googled this or been reading about it online, you may have heard that there's a curse on America that has to do with this particular alignment. So I went and I did a little bit of research about that as well, because I hadn't really ever heard that or come across it in astrology. Basically, it sounds more like it was an event that happened and then later on they assigned a curse to it. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I'll put some slides up here so you can see. The curse basically is that presidents that are in office or sworn in during the time of this alignment will die in office, or else an attempt on their life will be made. But as you can see, George W. Bush wasn't killed in office. So there's that one. I think it's going to be a dynamic time in America for sure, but I mean, the last, 100 years has been a dynamic time in America. It's not the only country that's going to feel this as well. But I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Could we be seeing problems with the president ahead? Yes, we could be. We could be seeing some health issues with the president. Do we need to focus on that? No, we don't. We don't need to focus on that and manifest that and bring that forward. Okay, to sum this up, going to be some changes. There's going to be some big sweeping changes. And for these positive changes to take root in our lives, we need to be ready. We need to clear out what's not working, and we need to stop holding on to things just because we've always done it that way. We need to be open to some of these new innovations, because guess what? They're going to happen regardless of whether or not you're ready. So it's best to just go ahead and get ready, do the healing, release what's not working, and be open. Be open to these wonderful new changes that are coming. Will it be a difficult cycle of transition? It can be, or it could be relatively easy. It's going to depend on both the individual and society, whether or not they're going to embrace this, whether or not they're going to be transparent with people and let people know what's happening. Overall, it's going to end well. Yes, we're going to level up, so to speak, and be in a much better place in this time next year even. So just stay the course, do the work, and don't worry. You got this. You got this. 2020 has prepared you for these changes. It's given you an opportunity to dig deep and see what's working and not working in your life. And now you take that knowledge and you make your decisions based on that, and things will flow much smoother. I hope you found this little mini reading helpful. If you would like your own personal reading, you can find me at Serenity. I'll put information up here and of course in the description box below. Once again, guys, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'll see you for the next video. Reiki blessings. Bye-bye.